How are you, my friends? It's good to see you. It's been a little while, hasn't it? I'm going to do today my top 10 top tips. Try saying that when you've had a few drinks. Top 10 top tips, alright? Here they are. I might just stick them in a link down below at some point. These are mainly for some of my new students who've been joining me, who've subscribed in the last month, which is pretty good. I've got about 800 last month, which is good. A lot of them are new players. But what I've done with these top tips, I've tried to sort of encapsulate, that's a good word, tips that will help people who've been playing for a while as well. You know, everything I'm saying today is a fucking tongue twister, Jesus Christ. So we're going to look at the top 10 top tips to try and improve both beginners and some of you seasoned players. All right, including me, because you know we all had to find out the hard way in my day. You couldn't turn on the internet and see someone like me with a silly act telling us what to do. All right, so this is what we're going to play. So let's bash straight on. Tip number 1. All right, is the posture, holding the guitar. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? You know, you'll see people playing it like this and all that sort of stuff, or you'll watch your favourite band on the telly jumping around on stage. You know, remember, you're usually listening to a pre-record. When they were in the studio recording that song, even bands like Nirvana, they would have been sitting like this, paying particular attention to what they were doing, right? And once they'd recorded it, they can go and jump around like an idiot and have people like you thinking that's how you play the guitar. But you don't, okay? So what do I mean by posture? When you're holding your guitar, it needs to be sort of like a 90-degree angle to the floor, okay? We don't want to have it sloping away from us, because if we do, we can't get our wrist round far enough to play the chords, and it ends up like this. And you'll be looking at your hand thinking, why can't I do it? And really what you need to do, because your fingers are slopping all over the strings, you need to straighten your guitar, and then your fingertips will be able to play the chords and allow the other strings to run underneath. So you get nice clean chords, alright? Now, in order to do that, top tip number 2 is keep your nails on your left hand cut short. Okay, don't have any nails whatsoever. If they start to touch the fingerboard, it's uncomfortable, and again, they will push your fingers like that, and that will cover the other strings. Again, with the left hand, fingers nearer the frets. This is top tip number 3. Fingers nearer the frets. Not the frets to your left, the frets to your right. If I use a chord like G as an example, right next to the fret. Can you see that? Right next to the fret, right next to the fret. If you do that, it'll sound nice and clean. If you're too far to the left, it sounds crap, alright? And that's the only word you can... I have a stronger word to use to describe how it sounds, but I've got a few younger ones in here. You know, I don't want anyone here watching this under 15. I can't be arsed trying to curb my language. I'm too old for all that nonsense. Alright. So there's our G, okay? So that's the other tip, fingers near the frets. Top tip number 4, the tips of your fingers. You must use the tips of your fingers. I'm just going to use C as an example for most of this, because it's a 4-fingered chord, okay? Tips of your fingers. When you look at it that way, see like that? I don't want your fingers like that, the tips. Think of a ballet dancer, you know the way they dance on their toes. Okay, then that's the way I want you to play. Tips of your fingers. That's top tip number 4. Top tip number 5, bar chords. Now they're nasty things, aren't they, bar chords? I hated bar chords when I was a kid. Don't particularly like them now, the truth be known. But once you get the hang of how to play them, you know, they're great. You've got to know how to do it. Best way to get your finger position for the bar itself on your first finger is to get your guitar like this. Just put it across one of the you know, across the fingerboard, see like that, and then use your thumb, and then lift the guitar, and you'll need quite a lot of pressure to do that. But in doing so, your finger here will roll into the correct position to play your bar. Again, making sure it's near the fret. Curl the other fingers round, and in the case you've got a G. All right, so that's your bar chord. Strumming, okay. Now everybody cocks up their strumming. You know, we all did it. And the biggest thing that they get wrong is they keep stopping. So there's 2 main strums. There's a straight rhythm and a shuffle rhythm. What's a straight rhythm? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's like a ticking clock. I nearly fell off my chair then. Okay, just metronome. Keep it going. When you're playing along to songs, forget about the left hand, block the strings, and just play along. That's a straight rhythm. A shuffle is. It's more of a swing. Okay, they're your main two strums. When you're playing, I'll pick 4 chords. Let's pick G, E minor, A minor, and D7th. Okay. And if we were going to play one bar on each chord, now I play my G like this. A lot of beginners play it like this. Honestly, trust me, this is the best way to play it. Okay. That way. So again, near the frets. So I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the number on the and after the number 4, I'm going to bring my fingers off. All right. Very important. Do this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 off. While you're off, you're going to make the shape for your next chord, E minor in this case. Put your fingers on for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 off. Bring your fingers off with it on the and after the 4. Put your fingers on for the A minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 off. And you can leave your first finger on for that one because it's common to the A minor and the D7. And then put those 2 fingers there for your D7. Try and mute your bass strings. We don't want to hear the E string over a D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 off and start again. Now, don't be put off by the word off when you're strumming, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 off. 1 and 2. That's a shuffle rhythm. Straight rhythm. Jam, doesn't it? Well, it is the jam because they play that sort of thing as well. And you will notice if you slow these things down, you'll hear those fingers coming off. And not many tutors out there will tell you that. That's one of the biggest secrets in guitar playing. The reason they don't tell you is not to be spiteful or to make sure they stay better than you. It's just that they don't realise they're doing it. I didn't realise I was doing it, but we all do it. Now, clearly, you don't have to do it if the song is slow enough. And in classical guitar, open strings are written into the music so you can jump around the neck, and you use the open strings as part of the tune that you're playing. When you're striking all the strings at once, which is not real guitar playing as far as they're concerned, because we're singing the melody, we have no choice but to take our fingers off to get from one chord to another. And if we don't, we'll do this and fluff the notes. Trust me, Brian May says exactly the same thing, so don't take it just from me. Go and listen to Mr. May, he knows what he's talking about as well. All right, next one. We've done that, lift the chord fingers off. That was number 8. Number 9, try and practice each hand independently. So say you were doing a finger picking thing, No, 4, 2, 3. I sort of say this to yourself, like, outer, inner, if you were practicing like a Travis pick. 5, 2, 4, 3, 5, 2, 4, 3. Just that way you won't get beaten over the head if people are trying to watch telly. Keep nice and quiet. You're listening for the percussive sound. When you've got it, put your chord on. I'll use C again. Okay, when you get that, you can maybe alternate the bass note. The boxer, of course. If you were strumming, practicing your strumming, well, we've already looked at that, haven't we? Block the strings. We've already talked about practicing the left hand independently as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 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 so on. You can practice without making a noise, okay? Now, the other thing, and this is important, when you're learning a new song, and the best way to play the guitar is to learn songs. Don't watch all these videos where you see somebody just rizzing up and down the neck. That's boring, right? It's completely boring. Learn to play songs. Learn to play different styles of song, okay? Don't just stick with one genre of song. Otherwise you'll be, one trick pony, boring. If you want to make money in the music business, or you want to be a performer, you need to be an 8 out of 10 at everything rather than a 10 out of 10 at one thing. Okay, so when you make a mistake when you're learning a song, don't keep going back to the beginning. Try and make a mental marker of where that mistake was, go a little bit before it, and then play through the mistake. okay, until you get it right. Then start again and work your way through. When you get to another mistake you make again, which you're going to make a lot, go a little bit before that and work your way through that mistake if it's a difficult chord transition. All right, and that way you won't start panicking. If you don't do that, when you start playing from the beginning again, especially if you're performing in front of your mates or your family or whatever, you think, oh shit, I've got that bit coming up, I'm bound to balls it up. And once that enters your head, guess what will happen? You will balls it up, okay? But once you've learned how to play those things, okay, keep playing them, keep playing them, keep playing them, at the end, then go back to the beginning and start at that point. Right. We've been doing this for 10 minutes. We've had a minute on each of my top 10 top tips. It's great to see you again. Remember to tell your friends to subscribe, okay? Everything on the channel is free. Hopefully we can have a few laughs along the way. I'm sure you will appreciate having a laugh now and again, all right? As I know I do. Anyway, thanks for your company. See you next time. Bye-bye.